I did it. And guys, everything's gonna be alright. Patch notes are out, and I know a lot of people are scared. Scared for their existence, scared for everything. Does life even have meaning now? Will I ever enter a red map again? The answer is yes. With that, let's move on to the patch notes. I'll try and keep it briefer than yesterday. Okay, here we go. Expedition 315 patch notes. Okay. TLDR. Strike skills are looking to be... so everything here will be relative. Strike skills looks to be stronger. Like, everything is weaker. Everything. Except aura stacking. Everything is weaker. Okay? Everything. By a lot. Now, since everything is weaker, then I'm going to talk about the things that are getting a notch up compared to the things that are getting a notch down. So, a Blade Blast should be a lot weaker because of a massive nerf to AoE. Anything like Poison is stronger. Strike skills look stronger overall. Slam skills overall look like they got hit hard with the Slam Crygem nerfs. But you can put them on the new totems, so maybe the totem stuff and like the shockwave stuff, like the non-Cry Slam builds would still be pretty cool. Generally, okay, movement skills definitely weaker, but in a way that I think is reasonable. All shield stuff a lot stronger. Bow stuff stronger. I think generally spells like self-casting or like hand casting looks about even Steven. You know, still not really big things happening there. So like strike up, slam down, archmage down, slam down. Vault double strike looks like it could be insane. Vault spectral throw updated could be pretty cool. So that's like a, like it's not a melee skill, but it's like a you use a weapon, you throw it skill. Okay, on to support. Anything that give you flat damage, added cold, added lightning, immolate, looks to be untouched, meaning that they're going to... That's a relative big buff to those. If you use skills or builds that use those before, you will have an advantage. Mana cost is all over the place. I'm not going to address that right now too much, other than I think it might have been the wrong time to like throw that in there the way that they did. Especially with things that are otherwise untouched. You know, additional accuracy, 120, it's just weird. So, this mana cost is really weird. However, there is a solution for everything, and it's the Enduring Mana Flask, because they removed the less duration, or the duration cost on there. So there's always a way that you can solve your mana, and it's just called an Enduring Mana Potion. And you'll not need more than one, if you're smart about it. Maybe you'll need to. I don't know. Sorry. Well, I kind of woke up. Okay, overall, every single strong multiplier gem nerfed. Big time. Big nerf. Aeronova is going to be tough to use. Awakened gems, big nerfs across the board. They made a lot of them boring, and I think they need to do another pass on Awakened gems, because a lot of this stuff makes no sense. I am fairly certain that Awakened Spell Echo is actually worse than Spell Echo, if you put all the numbers together. The only upside that Spell Echo has now, Awakened Spell Echo, is that it gives you this like double damage, so that if you paired it with shock, you would get a larger shock, and the larger shock would then make it do more damage. And only then would it do more damage than normal Spell Echo. It's weird. That does not make sense. I would like to have them add more interesting mechanics to Awakened Gems. Like Awakened Spell Cascade is a really good one. Yeah. It's mostly just small buffs to damage, and honestly, I'm not too unhappy with that. I think that there was too much power in Awakened Gems before, and I would like them to add more uniqueness. I don't think it's very unique adding an additional curse. For instance, I never found that to be very unique on a gem. It's like, oh, if you get this gem, you just get an additional. That's not. I don't consider that unique, and I never have. So good riddance. It's the same thing with melee fizz, giving you just intimidate. It's like, oh, I could get intimidate on this item, or I could just get the gem that does everything else I normally would get out of the gem I would normally use anyways. Melee fizz, however, is looking pretty strong. I will say attack speed and cast speed is gonna be important to stack now, because there's been a lot of removal of that from quality. Mines look to be very strong as well. Crit builds honestly might feel better than before because we are no longer stuck behind a diamond potion. Inspiration is looking really good. Life tap, the thing that they're doing to like have cost for life, I don't know, man. I know this is mainly because I think it's used on traps, I was told. But this is like, I was using this on like spell builds and life builds, and it's not like it wasn't significant that I was taking, like I was killing myself with it. And the damage buff from this was not very high, but it was a nice utility. I don't know, man. This mana multiplier stuff that they're adding is a bit of a left field, and I don't think it's well thought through. I think if you want to address mana cost, you need to address overall skill cost and really think about what is skill cost in PoE to a larger extent. I don't think they've done that in the best way so far. But I mean, it changes up the metagame a bit, and it changes up how people approach it a lot. Last time they did big changes on mana, we came out just fine, and we will come out just fine here as well. But yeah, I don't know what it is they're trying to achieve with it. I know that they're trying to like bring it closer together, but I feel like they're not really bringing it close together. They're just bringing everything up to be all of it is going to cost a lot of mana. This might be alright if all skills have more significance, but we'll see. Time will tell. First glance, the mana multiplier stuff is a bit weird, but I do think we'll overcome. I do think there are enough options for getting around mana that honestly, it's just gonna take a couple notes on the tree or a proper rolled mana potion, you know, a little bit of clever thinking, and we'll be just fine again. I think everything in regards to like skill gems, support gems, will be just fine. I think some of them are not balanced correctly, numerically, or they might not have the right uniqueness to them, but I think by and large they did a good job, with a few outliers that leave you wondering a little bit. Cold Dot is also dead, and Hypothermia makes no sense. We talked about this previously yesterday. I have a long video yesterday on like the manifesto. I like that they're adding this, that they're changing here with damage with weapons is now damage with attacks. That means it's opening up basically attack-based skills that don't use a weapon to be able to use like pen, which is really nice. Also anything using pen gems is looking really good, which are a lot of cast spells as well, so that's a good thing. Vile Toxic looks really good if as an overall damage multiplier. Gives you more damage if you have stacks on there. Mjolnir is looking like... Mjolnir is a really nice item now. There might be a new chase. Some people are asking for chase items and such. There will be chase items. So we don't even know the new unique items they've introduced to the game either. I think the chase of the gems were like, alright, okay, I think they need to revert uniques being globally dropped if they were original from a boss. I think that is a stupid change and they need to change it. Back again, cluster duel balance leaves me wondering, why would I ever go for cluster duels? I know that this is probably mostly for softcore, so anyone saying that they're just nerfing around hardcore, yeah, this is like for softcore. This is for people who are only stacking damage, so that you cannot reach a certain threshold that is just way too high. And I get that. But it does leave me wondering, for people who are using them as like, alternatives for like a cluster here and there, who are not like going all in. Stackable cluster duels is probably a mistake at this point. So yeah, a lot of this stuff to me, as someone who plays on SSF, just seems as if I will never actually be able to find a place for these anymore, which is a bit unfortunate, as cluster duels do actually offer some interesting variety. This is mainly medium cluster duels which had most of that power. So, I mean, we'll see. There should probably still be some places in there for some cluster duels that you might use in different builds. And obviously, certain builds benefit more from certain clusters than others. Aura stacking. Right. They're adding a lot of... So, they're adding extra life. So, whenever they're adding extra life and then people go like, ah, but you can't add extra life because you said it was lazy. No, they can do that on top. On top. If the monster life does not reflect the correct amount versus the player power at a given stage, monster life should be buffed. The same thing goes for damage. It's just how it is. Okay? This like, oh, but you are not allowed to touch it at all because you said that it's a lazy thing as the only thing you do. That is just stupid. You're trying to like catch them on like a single word. You're trying to like catch them out of context and not looking at the full picture. Stop. Stop. It doesn't add anything significant to, you know, the conversation, and it's a disingenuous way of, you know, adding feedback. Other than that, let's see. Do I have a few things to say overall? I think, the Flask charges as well, I think overall are good. I think that the overflowing channels might be looking good now. I think that all the elemental flasks are looking good now. A lot of the unique flasks were hit hard, and they should be hit hard. But they will still be, I mean, they will still be useful because 10% more damage is still 10% more damage, and 10% more damage is good. There are plenty of times where I would look at a flask and it would give me 10% more damage, and I would use it because I had the space for it. I think the percent life regen from the Veiled mod, it's looking really strong now in comparison to everything else. I do think all of this will allow us to have more unique options that we will chase, meaning more diverse item choices and such. Will be like an add-on effect without you even noticing. Anything else I missed? Let's see here. I mean, overall, I'm actually pretty happy with these patch notes. They did what they said they would want to do. I think there are still a lot of concerns within PoE that needs addressing. I still think that the league overall as a mechanic has some problems to it. I don't know if I addressed this, but I think Expedition is another one of those, like, the mechanics behind it are too reminiscent of Harvest, Heist, and it's adding in the bad parts of what that did. I really like the gambling part of it. You know, the gambling vendors, I think they're really cool. Additions, I think that you having to stop and place down these stupid fucking explosions all the time is gonna just be annoying, and then afterwards you have to go and click all the chests. I mean, what is this game of whack-a-mole? Excuse me, it's like double whack-a-mole. I don't think tower defense was very cool. I don't think whack-a-mole is very cool. It's like, it's not my main driving force for coming in and playing PoE. Play to your strengths. Seriously. I don't understand these leagues and why they're made in this way. I think you have the immediate screen where you set up and you go explore is really cool. Why couldn't we have had, why couldn't we just pre-plant stuff there, set up like a bunch of different areas and like pre-plan our like encounters, then we go in and maybe we put on too much, maybe we didn't, time will tell. And then it's all about the moment-to-moment gameplay after that point. Remove all the stupid boxes and make the monsters drop things again. If you want to have the caves, you know, you can have an X amount of explosives to like find hidden caves, and you could say there's like so many caves, and they're like, and then make like hidden notices like, oh, if it's shining a little bit, oh, I know that's because it has this type of thing behind it without explicitly saying it. I think explicitly saying everything of what kind of reward you get is lazy, and it derives from the overall moment to moment excitement of what could it be, and it's more giving you this is what you're going to get, and you feel like entitled to get what's behind it, and you feel entitled to get these stupid I don't understand it, why they keep in, but that's a different discussion. We'll have that discussion later. Overall, all the changes I mostly agree with. I think there's some balance in there that needs more addressing, but I think we'll be all right. I think there's gonna be so many builds this league. Anyone say there's so many people saying, oh, there's gonna be no diversity, this is, oh, losing damage is not creating diversity. You're just wrong. Having these like brutality and everything stacking onto physical damage only, and the whole physical damage shell being vastly superior to so many other options, was hindering build diversity in a big way. The same thing with archmage. It was hindering it being that much more powerful than other similar setups, was hindering build diversity. And that's my take. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. We talked about it yesterday with the Atlas as well. I'm not going to rehash that. But I think overall this is good. Mana changes are a bit weird. They need to do another pass on Awakened Gems. But overall, pretty happy with the direction and the changes for most of the gems. ED, aura stacking, Awakened Gems, and the mana stuff is weird. Like the increase in mana. Rest seems good. And there's a lot more work to be done in the future. And I'm looking forward to it. This league will have a lot of new variety in builds, and I think the challenge is welcome. Looking forward to it. That's it. I'll go make builds, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.